Hello, we are back, and today I'm just going to be sitting here and challenging an idea that I hear a lot of people talking about, and that's the fact that moderation is key. And although it has its place, I don't necessarily agree entirely. Of course, no one can have, say, a perfect diet or a perfect lifestyle, or it's sometimes hard to maintain, I understand, but in a lot of areas of your life, I think it's just easier to be in the camp of all or nothing rather than trying to be in between. There was a podcast I was listening to recently, and he basically put it in the way of, if you have a bag of cookies, it's a lot easier to have none than to open it and just have one. Because, if you have one, then you might just want to eat the whole thing. So I think if you take that into multiple parts of your life, that concept, a lot of this comes down to self-awareness, right? You gotta be thinking about what things can I hold back on and what things are hard for me to start but not go all the way with, what things are hard for me to just have that one cookie. I see this a lot just having gone through university. A lot of people struggle to just have, one or two beers on an evening. It's a lot easier for them for some reason just to either have zero or shoot for going past 10, which is, as you could imagine, problematic. And, if you do struggle to have just, say, two beers, you're probably best off just sitting at zero, because if you aim to just have two, and if you're self-aware, you just know that you're just going to end up going all the way to 10. So certain areas of your life, just got to be aware of that. Like for me, I'm a bit of a sweet tooth, and I like ripping into a bag of candy, and it's kind of problematic for me to just have a little bit of that. So I'm best off, say, just grabbing some out the bag and going back to my room, as opposed to having the bag with me in the room, because we know how that ends, or at least I do. But say alcohol, I don't really like alcohol, so it's never been a problem for me just to have a couple beers. So I'm aware of that, right? And one further, a big concept people miss is literally just don't have it in the house if you can't handle it, right? A disciplined diet can, on the outside, look like something that's hard to maintain, but if you can just be disciplined for the moment that you're in the grocery store, assuming you don't eat out too often, then you don't have that stuff in the house, and therefore it's just, that's like, oh, I want some cake, but there's no cake, so I'm just going to have something else, right? It's literally that simple. I think a lot of people miss that. And, if you have a problem with the cake, then just don't bring it home, okay? I think when people claim moderation, sometimes it's fair enough, but sometimes it seems clear to me that they're just using it as a kind of a scapegoat, an excuse that's socially acceptable to indulge in something that they know they shouldn't be doing. And a lot of the time, as I said, you're probably just better off just having none of it. So it's a weird justification. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh, I'm just getting it out of my system. These things, they make no sense once you think about it, but for some reason we've made them socially acceptable. So on this channel, I just want to be sure to, question everything. I think that's really valuable, particularly when in the health space, people are always just trying to sell you things. Everything's a marketing scheme, it seems. Well, at least 80% of it. So always be skeptical, especially when people are trying to justify things and sell you things. You gotta be careful. Another one is social media. If you've heard much about it, it is designed to keep you on the app. So if you just pull it up, you're probably going to end up there longer than you anticipated. If you're just like, oh, I'll just see what's going on, and then you end up on the next tab and you're just scrolling down. It's a bit of a mess, and it's designed to keep you there, right? So just understanding that, and it's just easier just to not open it at all, or if you do genuinely just want to use it 10 minutes a day. I know some people put a lock on it, it's capped at 10 minutes, otherwise it will not open past that 10 minutes. So, there's things in place, but I think one of the main things with assessing moderation is just having that boundary in place to where you can't shoot overboard. Maybe if you go shopping and, you just bring home one bag of candy and you do your shopping, I don't know, once a week, even if you, rinse through that bag, that's it for the week, right? There's no candy the rest of the week, even if you did overindulge initially. So on average, the moderation kind of checks out. But at the same time, you want to question, was it going to be easier just to not bring it home at all, right? And lastly, I just want to say, if you are having trouble cutting something out, a really important thing is if it's something habitual, you're always best off subbing it out for something, because if you try and just cut something out entirely and it's like a habitual thing, you sit down at a certain time and eat, I don't know, a certain food, then when that time rolls around, it's going to be a bit weird. It's like, I really want this food now, even though I'm not meant to have it. So like subbing that out for just a healthier alternative, or maybe just a different activity, depending on what the thing you're trying to cut out, is so important. Always substitute rather than just cutting out entirely. But that's just a short video for me. I think this is quite important just to think about and just be self-aware of the actions that you're making and the justifications you're making, so you can be a little bit self-critical and just trying to catch yourself out when you know you're just lying to yourself. So, you know, be careful out there. And yeah, I hope this was interesting. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.